Chapter 6. Blind folly, a costly affair, leads to loss when unaware. In foolishness, treasures are squandered, by false allurements easily pondered. Be wary of deceptive schemes, where trust is shattered by cunning themes. Think twice before giving away your wealth, and guard against the tricks of stealth. With wisdom and discernment as your guide, you'll navigate life's challenges with stride. Whether pleasant or unpleasant to see, a guest brings blessings, that's the key. By honoring the guests who come, travelers from a distant home, to partake in the sacred rite, you walk the path of nobility and light. If guests unhonored leave your door, their sighs echoing, forevermore, your ancestors and gods divine will turn away, their love declined. For hospitality is a sacred art, a bond that connects every heart. And when guests are welcomed with cheer, blessings in abundance draw near. But if you neglect this noble duty, and treat your guests with cold hostility, the blessings that once flowed so strong will vanish, leaving you in the wrong. So, cherish those who cross your threshold with warmth, respect, and stories untold. For in honoring guests with love and care, you keep the divine connection alive and rare. Friendship's bond, like sibling ties, can be stronger, deeper, and truly wise. To ingratitude, there is no expiation or remedy that can fully make amends. Ingratitude, which refers to the lack of appreciation or acknowledgement for kindness or favors received, is seen as a particularly grievous offense. Friends perform 6 actions. They take and give in return. They listen and speak. They dine together and entertain one another. We should neither trust a rogue, nor place our trust in those who seem just. For danger lurks, and we may fall, ruined and destroyed, with roots and all. Whoever trusts a friend untrue, believing lies and claims untrue, embraces death, as surely so, as when a mule conceives. The hungry man has no restraint, the needy man may resort to taint. When one offers solace in distress, another mocks and brings distress. By treating both as they deserve, a man can find redemption and be reborn. Like a splinter is removed by another splinter, the wise use fierce enemies to defeat their foes, turning danger into joy through strategic employ. Do not bestow your trust upon a person without full knowledge of their worth and virtue. For in heaven, it is advised and well known to exercise caution before trust is given. When one is in a dire situation where they have lost all their belongings and even their life is at risk, they may resort to desperate measures, even if it means submitting or groveling to someone. Eat only what can be easily digested and nourishes the body. In times of adversity, when one's strength is waning and support from friends and loved ones is lacking, it is prudent to take on challenges and risks in life. Associating closely with a powerful enemy is like consuming poison. The consequences will become apparent. By offering a small bribe, you can pacify an enemy who may be inclined to take everything from you. In times of threat, it is wise to offer half of what is demanded while safeguarding the other half, as complete loss is difficult to bear. A prudent person would not willingly sacrifice a great deal of good for a small benefit. Prudence entails gaining much with minimal effort and loss. Just as sitting on muddy garments dirties everything you sit upon, when one virtue falls, the rest are quickly compromised. The downfall of one virtue can have a cascading effect on the others. Why do you scream in distress? You were silent when you carried out your cruel intentions. Hope has abandoned you along with the demise of your plans. Who will come to your rescue now? A woman is both a source of joy and pain, with her presence being likened to nectar and her absence to poison. Men, sometimes driven by fate, may knowingly engage in wrongful actions. However, once the deed is done, they are left to face the consequences without finding any enjoyment or satisfaction in their actions. The careless trickster, who neglects to consider his own advantage and reveals the truth, is bound to lose his triumph. Whoever let his secret weakness be known, such individuals jeopardize their chances of success. Never harm a gentle hermit, nor a woman, clergyman, or child. Even if your life is at stake, do not betray their trust, be mild. A single brave and fearless fighter can inspire courage in an entire army, while a defeated and demoralized soul spreads negativity and ill fortune widely. Indeed, kings seek out valiant warriors, those who are fearless and strong, for they bring honor and protection, while cowards are seen as a wrong. Kings understand the importance of having courageous men by their side, as they defend their kingdom's glory and face challenges with stride. Husbands and wives sacrificed and devoted themselves to their partner, leaving behind their family and committing to a life together. However, their partner abandons them without consideration or remorse. I left my family for her. I gave her half my life. She leaves me now without a thought. What man can trust his wife? Men are willing to go to great lengths and make unconventional choices for the sake of women. Parrots and gracklebirds, known for their ability to mimic human speech, are kept in cages, while herons, which are silent birds, roam freely. Virtue has its negative consequences too. In a home without a mother's care, with a wife who flatters, beware. It's better to leave and roam afar, in forests less wild than a troubled home. However skillful in disguise, however frightful to the eyes, although in tiger skin arrayed, the ass was killed because he brayed. Even if someone is skilled at disguising themselves and appears intimidating, their true nature cannot be hidden forever. Just like an ass dressed in a tiger's skin, its downfall came when it brayed. A wife who constantly nags and gets angry is not considered a true wife, according to wise individuals. Instead, she is likened to premature old age. Hence, if you seek comfort, it is advised to avoid associating with any woman on this earthly realm, exerting patient effort to maintain distance from them altogether. A woman's feelings remain unexpressed. Her words and appearance are not aligned. Her actions diverge from what is guessed. Oh, woman, woman. Mysterious and undefined. Boys find girls enchanting and tender, though they may be tough and self-centered. Seek guidance from wise mentors, my friend. Those who possess knowledge to lend. Their counsel will guide you right in every endeavor, day or night. Offer advice only to those who seek, to those whose intentions are pure and meek. Regardless of your love for your wife, it is unreasonable to follow your wife's advice and cast friends and relatives into the ocean. A man of true value, who offers wise counsel and assistance, remains unaffected by disasters and challenges, both in heaven and on earth. The act of reciprocating good with good may not be seen as saintly or virtuous, as it is expected and commonplace. However, truly noble individuals strive to exhibit saintliness by returning good even when faced with ill treatment or adversity. To gain favor with patrons, one may resort to flattery and subservience. In the presence of heroes, one might cast doubt or skepticism. Petty bribes may be offered to flunkies or underlings, while conflicts and disputes are confronted directly with equals. When bribery and flattery prove ineffective, resorting to intrigue and manipulation often yields the desired results. Once we find a way to reach someone's innermost feelings or desires, we can establish a strong connection or influence over them. When a guest requires assistance or support, it is the true test of hospitality and generosity to provide for their needs. To thrive and succeed, a person must stay alive. It is important to take care of one's physical well-being and ensuring one's survival in order to pursue opportunities and achieve success. Cows provide sustenance for livelihood. Brahmins practice self-denial and spirituality. Women exhibit fickleness in their behavior, and relatives can often be a source of trials and challenges. The food in foreign lands is delicious and diverse, offering a wide range of flavors. The women there are easygoing and accessible in the town's social life. However, one may find that relatives in those foreign lands lack sobriety or proper behavior. Better one's native land, where one lives at peace even in times of famine, and no one picks a quarrel. Avoid wasting idle days that pass without purpose or meaning, for true joy lies not in laziness. Even deer can survive by eating the grass that fate provides, but as humans, we should seek more meaningful pursuits. Blind folly always has to pay for giving property away because of blandishments, and guile the monkey tricked the crocodile. Blind folly often leads to regret and loss, especially when one is deceived by flattery and deceit. Those who give away their possessions without caution or wisdom will suffer the consequences. A man who remains composed and level-headed in the face of adversities will ultimately conquer them. The gods and one's ancestors will disdain the man who allows a guest to depart from his house feeling neglected and unappreciated. The bond of brotherhood formed through meaningful conversation is considered to be far stronger and more valuable than the bond of blood shared by siblings from the same mother. Never trust someone who cannot be trusted, or even trust a trustworthy person blindly, as it can be risky and lead to complete destruction. A person who seeks friendship with someone who has previously betrayed them is inviting their own downfall. Once money disappears, conduct, patience, purity, manners, loving kindness, and even one's birth lose their value and significance. The constant worries of household life diminish the wisdom of even the wisest, just as spring melts away the winter. When money disappears, even the keenest wisdom falters, overshadowed by the constant worries of basic needs like fuel, clothes, food, and household essentials. Poor and insignificant neighbors hardly evoke any favorable sentiments, much like the fleeting bubbles on a stream that constantly appear and disappear. The rich often have the freedom to engage in vulgar and debased behavior without facing reproach or consequences. Dreams that hold no meaning or significance often visit those who are ill, sorrowful, lovelorn, drunk, or plagued by worries. The saints who triumph are those who live with pure knowledge, purifying their minds from within to guard against the seeds of sin. The tongue that praises God is blessed. The heart that finds rest in Him is truly blessed. And the hands that offer homage to Him each day. They alone are blessed in every way. Behold a wonder, even the one who lives alone, with no kin to shun, with hand as spoon and air for attire, as overcome by greed. Deeds ill known, ill recognized, ill accomplished, ill advised, let no man harbor in his mind. Follow the path of the well-advised. Leave the ill-advised undone. A son, despite his faults and flaws, brings joy and delight, a special cause. In his presence, love still draws. Avoid excessive greed's allure. A modest share will still endure. The well-served master turns away. Even loving kin no longer stay. Woes multiply, friends and children flee. His high-born wife grows cold, you see. Virtue's flame dims, efforts crumble fast. For one who lacks the ready cash. Charm, courage, eloquence, good looks, and knowledge gained from countless books, without the backing of wealth and fame, hold little value in the social game. A beggar went to the graveyard's gloom, and called to a corpse in its silent tomb. Rise, my friend, and relieve my plight. For poverty weighs me down with its might. I am weary and seek your tranquil repose. For surely it's better to rest than to be poor woes. The corpse remained silent, revealing the truth. That death's embrace was a relief from poverty's ruth. Money holds a powerful sway. Obtains all things without delay. Thus, the wise pursue with care the accumulation of wealth, fair and square. For in this world, where desires clash, the prudent seek to amass cash, cash, cash. Cash flows into men's hands through 6 means. I. Seeking charity from generous beings. 2. Serving as flunkies in royal courts. 3. Engaging in farming and agricultural pursuits. 4. Pursuing learned professions and crafts. 5. Practicing usury and lending with interest. 6. Engaging in trade and commerce with zest. King's favor is fickle and prone to change. Charitable winnings attract unwanted range. Learned professions demand excessive submission. Farming entails labor and tireless mission. Usury risks lending one's life away. Trade, I say, is the path to a joyful sway. Hurrah for trade, the source of true delight. Where fortunes are made and prospects ignite. Trade offers stability and potential for prosperity, unlike other methods of making money. Profitable trade encompasses various branches, including the use of deceitful practices, price manipulation, pawnshops, cultivating loyal customers, forming partnerships, dealing in luxury goods, and engaging in foreign trade. According to economists, engaging in dishonest practices such as using false weights, inflating prices unreasonably, and consistently deceiving friends are considered unacceptable behavior and are associated with social undesirables. The pawn shop owner, driven by desperation, prays for the death of those who owe him. He sees it as a solution to his troubles, offering to give them whatever they owe, if only their lives are taken away. The stockholder reflects with glee, though one of many, the wide world's wealth belongs to me, no other gets a penny. Perfumes, a luxury so fine. Why bother with gold and such? No matter the price you pay, you can sell it for 1,000-fold as much. Foreign trade belongs to the capitalist's realm. As the saying goes, wild elephants tamed by the skilled. Money kings set a trap, using wide advertising to capture wealth. The lively salesperson, well versed in the trade, invests money wisely and returns, multiplying it 2 or 3 times over. The crow, the idle one, the timid deer, fearing foreign lands, in careless laziness is bound to perish where it stands. The man obsessed with wealth and gain abandons kin and home. He flees from mother's loving care, breaks promises and roams. He journeys to far foreign lands, a choice he did not make, leaving behind his native soil. What more could we expect? Though water is bestowed from skies above, when men dig wells, it springs from depths below. Man's effort can match fate's wonders. Great effort leads to complete success, which is the true manifestation of manliness. What a dullard perceives as fate is simply the result of human endeavor. True joy and fulfillment are not attained effortlessly or without exertion. Even the divine figure Vishnu, when embracing his bride, does so with arms that have experienced the toil of churning. Only those who possess greatness within themselves can truly understand and support others who aspire to greatness. Intellect is greater than mere knowledge, so seek wisdom with heartfelt homage. The reasoning may have its flaws and quirks, for creatures of great sense may meet ill luck, while those of meager intelligence may thrive. If favored by fate, they may surely survive. In places where the wind is blocked, and daylight's path is interlocked, the wise man's wit will swiftly find a way to navigate the bind. It is unwise for someone who is lazy and lacks alertness to engage in theft, as it can lead to undesirable consequences. Similarly, an individual who is physically weak or sickly should refrain from stealing valuable items, for it will only bring about more harm than benefit. It is in one's best interest to avoid engaging in illicit activities and instead pursue a path of honesty and integrity to maintain a peaceful and prosperous life. Don't steal or cheat, it brings trouble. Oh, the joy that fills the heart when melodies enchant and impart sweet nectar of music to the ear, as moonlight banishes all darkness. Caesuras 3, and 36 arrangements of the notes, in fine. 6 apertures. The languages are 40, sentiments are 9. In songbooks, treasures can be found. 100 songs, their beauty renowned, with perfect form and phrases pure, a testament to music's allure. On earth is nothing nobler found, nor yet in heaven, than vocal song. One lacking wit, who friend ignores, like weaver slow, disaster adores. For wisdom's voice, a friend's advice, can save from paths of sacrifice. Support a woman in her distress, with food, dresses, and all the best. But do not ask for her advice. When a woman, gambler, child, take the lead and guide the wild, death approaches, step by step. So declares the ancient saint. A man can lead with humble grace, when not swayed by a woman's embrace. Her whispers can cloud his mind, so he must remain self-defined. A man's leadership is strong and true, when he's not swayed by a woman's view. He stays humble, firm, and clear, leading with wisdom, void of fear. Women, seeking treasures of their own, often prioritize their pleasures alone. Even their children, once so dear, can take a backseat to their selfish sphere. You may disregard advice, indeed. From a barber, child, or bard's creed. Monks, hermits, musicians as well. Or anyone whose character fell. Even sons and brothers, without remorse. Desire the downfall of a king, of course. Such is the nature of kingship's sway. And who would not reject it, I say? Do not harbor hopes too lofty or grand. Greedy souls who disregard the consequences of their quest, will soon find disappointment. For if within a house dispute, and senseless quarrels have their reign, downfall is imminent. If enemies commit their brutes, and one forgives for fear or gain, such a man, driven by base fears, as counted among the meanest peers, forgiving out of fear or greed, makes one the lowest of the breed. The educated and the wealthy, consumed by greed, fall into wickedness, only to face the sting of poverty's need. 100 is not enough, I say. Give me 1,000 without delay. 1,000? No, alack I desire. With wealth like that, my needs will retire. But even a lack won't suffice, I find. For kings and kingdoms own my mind. As years go by, the hair turns gray. Teeth and senses begin to decay. But amid the passing of time's fleet, greed remains forever young. To repay evil with more ill is a path that leads to further ill. Instead, let wisdom and compassion guide, and break the cycle of vengeance wide. Abandoning friends brings hellish end. Stay loyal, be a helping friend. Whoever through hard-heartedness deserts a friend in his distress, for such ingratitude must pay to hell. He treads the certain way. Waywardness is prudence, when fortune favors wayward men. A prudent man should seek to know what lies beyond his understanding. A daughter with excessive limbs, or lacking the usual count, shall bring disgrace upon herself and will destroy her husband, too. If a father comes across a girl, with triple breasts to be seen, it is believed to bring upon him a death that is swift and keen. Until a mortal's belly pot is full, he does not care a jot. For love or music, wit or shame. For body's care or scholar's name. For virtue or for social charm. For lightness or release from harm. For godlike wisdom, youthful beauty. For purity or anxious duty. But once the hunger is satisfied, and belly pot is duly tied, then love and music find their way. Wit and shame hold their sway. For in the absence of hunger's might, the soul is free to seek what's right, to value virtues, beauty's grace, and find contentment in life's embrace. Beware of a quarrelsome wife, she brings misery and strife. Trust is a fragile thread, once broken, it's hard to mend. To seek friendship with one who betrayed, may lead to sorrow and dismay. For a heart that's been wounded and scarred, may find it hard to trust and regard. To court such danger, a perilous game, where trust and loyalty are not the same. Better to seek true friends anew, whose faith and honor shine through. For in their company, you shall find a bond unbroken, steadfast and kind. In the depths of hunger's grip, desperation makes morality slip. When hunger gnaws with relentless might, reason falters, casting aside what's right. In the face of starvation's plight, the human spirit may lose its light. For survival's instinct takes control, and ethics waver as needs unfold. A starving man, driven to the edge, may resort to acts he'd never pledge. But let us not judge with harsh disdain, for compassion in such times may wane. Instead, let us strive to alleviate the suffering that pushes souls to hate. For when the belly is filled once more, the heart regains its kindness and more. Hunger breeds sin and cruelty. Taking revenge on those who harm you or mock you during difficult times can be seen as a form of self-regeneration. Pitting strong enemies against each other can lead to their mutual destruction, turning pain into joy. A thorn is taken out by another thorn. One should not befriend someone without knowing their family, character, temperament, and place of residence. Avoid approaching anyone, even in dreams, who could bring harm or cause your death. A wise man, even when his physical abilities and income are limited, should arrange his affairs in a way that allows him to sustain his livelihood effortlessly. It is undeniable that befriending a more powerful enemy is akin to ingesting a deadly poison. In the face of an enemy who seeks to seize everything, a wise man appeases him by offering a small portion, thereby temporarily keeping him satisfied. In the face of imminent total loss, a wise man voluntarily gives away half and works with the rest to avoid complete devastation. A wise man never sacrifices big interests for smaller ones, demonstrating true wisdom. If a man's heart is stirred by desire at the mere mention of a woman, it would be surprising if he did not feel passion when he actually saw her. A hypocrite with limited intelligence, who reveal what should be hidden, never succeed in accomplishing his goals. Even in a life-threatening situation, it is not right to neglect one's obligations and commit a sin. A brave and determined leader instills confidence in the entire army, but if the leader flees, the entire army falls into chaos. A man should not be enslaved by his wife. Silence is golden. Parrots and other cackling birds get caught, while the cranes stay free. By keeping quiet, one succeeds. A wife of ill repute and strife brings her husband a weary life. One seeking joy should not be swayed by a wicked woman's charade. Women, mysterious and sly, their thoughts and words they do belie. Their actions contradict their speech. Beware the enchantment they beseech. Those lured by beauty, like moths in a flame, meet destruction and sorrow, their fortune to blame. In hardship, foes increase their might. When fate opposes, challenges ignite. Seek counsel from elders and friends sincere. Before embarking on a task, have no fear. With their wisdom and support in sight, no hindrance shall impede your path's delight. A wife holds affection, no doubt it's true. But drowning friendships is not what you should do. For love and loyalty should be balanced and fair. Respecting both wife and friends, showing you care. Ignoring wise advice leads to destruction. Those who genuinely care about your well-being and offer you valuable advice will be rewarded, both in this life and the hereafter. Goodness truly shines when it is extended even in the face of evil. It is considered great and admirable by the wise when someone responds to harm with kindness and goodness. To show respect to the great, to create conflicts between strong adversaries, to offer small gifts to the mean, and to engage in battle with equals. These are the strategic actions that can be employed to navigate different situations and maintain one's position. A man of noble lineage, even in the face of adversity, remains steadfast in his commitment to righteousness. Just as a lion, born to royalty, refuses to consume grass or prey killed by others, maintaining its dignity even in times of hunger. In situations where peaceful means or bribery fail to win someone over, cunning becomes the only recourse. Even a person with virtuous qualities can be swayed by cunning tactics. As long as you are able to preserve your life, there are countless good things to experience and enjoy. It is important to consume only what you can digest and what provides nourishment and benefit to your well-being. Show respect to those who are superior. Manipulate situations where strong opponents fight each other. Offer small favors to those who are of lesser status or mean. Engage in fair battles with opponents of similar strength. Do not allow your enemy to establish a strong position or advantage. You can expect prosperity from cows, penance from Brahmins, fickle-mindedness from women, and antagonism from one's own relatives. In the city, there is easier access to diverse food options. However, the disadvantage is that one's own relatives can become a source of torment. It is preferable to stay in one's own country, even if faced with difficulties such as famine, as long as there is peace and tranquility. A wise person should not blindly follow someone's example, especially if they have not thoroughly observed, understood, heard, or considered the matter at hand. Perform charitable deeds for various reasons, such as religious devotion, compassion towards others, and the desire for personal spiritual growth and salvation. When a person faces misfortune and loses all his wealth, his social standing and reputation suffers a gradual decline. Good character, compassion, purity, and noble lineage are admirable qualities, but they may not be enough to maintain widespread esteem if a person loses their wealth. Family responsibilities diminish a wise man, like spring breeze replaces winter. A poor man's house is empty and lifeless, like a starless sky or a waterless lake. The plight of poverty-stricken people is often overlooked, like fleeting bubbles in water that come and go without much notice. A poor man, even if he possesses wisdom, integrity, and a noble lineage, is often shunned and ignored, while a wealthy man, regardless of his lack of intelligence, moral character, or low social status, is showered with attention due to hidden motives. The roaring sea instills fear and trembling in everyone, just as the wealthy display their opulence and are revered by all. The dreams of a sick man, a man overwhelmed by grief or worry, driven by desire or madness, hold no prophetic value or meaning. Long live those who dedicate themselves entirely to the pursuit of wisdom. Lust and desire find no place in their minds. Even a recluse, who has forsaken worldly possessions and lives simply, can still be consumed by greed. Even as an old man's physical faculties deteriorate, his desires remain eternally youthful. A wise man should not pursue something without accurately observing, properly understanding, correctly hearing, and sufficiently considering it. Acting impulsively or without proper consideration of the consequences often leads to negative outcomes, causing regret and the need for repentance. Parents' love for their son remains steadfast regardless of his flaws, behavior or shortcomings. Strive for ambition but maintain moderation and avoid excessive greed. When a man loses his money, he faces abandonment from friends and relatives. Even his own sons desert him, and his once loving wife wants nothing to do with him. His good qualities go unnoticed, and his troubles multiply. While his personal identity remains unchanged, everything else crumbles in an instant. Living in seclusion in a thorny jungle, amidst dangerous animals, with minimal comforts, is preferable to living in poverty among one's relatives. Common sense is considered superior to scholarship in ordinary life. A mean-minded person focuses on ownership and division, thinking, "This is mine, and that is his." However, a generous person sees the world as one big family, where everything is shared and interconnected. Common sense is considered superior to scholarship because scholars who lacked common sense brought a dead lion to life and ended up losing their lives as a consequence. People who are knowledgeable in scriptures but lack common sense become objects of ridicule, as learned fools. Whichever road is followed by great men, is the right one to follow. A true friend is someone who stands by you in joyful occasions, calamities, sickness, famine, war, in the court of law, or at the cremation ground. Righteousness marches rapidly. The path of righteousness and virtuous actions lead to swift progress and positive outcomes. In the face of imminent total destruction, a wise person sacrifices half and works with the remaining portion to avoid complete loss. People well versed in the Shastras, but lacking in worldly wisdom, become the object of ridicule. An orphan whom fortune favors can survive even when left unprotected in a jungle. However, a person with unfavorable luck can perish even when well protected in their own home. When fate is against someone, even the most talented individuals may lose their lives, while those with lesser talents may live happily. Talented individuals can achieve the seemingly impossible in life. Even clever individuals are powerless when faced with unfavorable circumstances dictated by fate. It is important not to ignore or disregard the advice of a true friend. A sick person should avoid overeating or indulging in excessive food consumption. According to Bharat Muni, music is composed of 7 notes, 3 scales, 21 modulations, 49 rhythms, and 3 speeds. Additionally, there are various ragas and raginis that should be sung at the appropriate time and season. A person who lacks common sense and refuses to listen to the advice of well-wishers is bound to meet with destruction. A wise man should provide for his woman's needs, such as food, clothing, and ornaments, and have children with her. However, he should not seek her advice on matters of importance. A household that is governed by a woman, an addict, or a child is destined to face destruction. Ruling a kingdom is a challenging task, as there is always some trouble or conflict that disturbs a king's peace. History is filled with examples of rulers facing exile, wars, and betrayals from close relatives. Hankering after unattainable or unrealistic desires leads to disappointment and failure. Never indulge in daydreaming. A man who is consumed by greed fails to consider the consequences of his actions. Quarrels destroy beautiful palaces, harsh words end friendships, and the evil actions of a king can lead to the annihilation of a whole nation. A person who fails to respond to an insult out of fear or self-interest is considered of little value or lacking in character. One should stand up for themselves and not tolerate insults or offenses without taking appropriate action. Greed, I acknowledge you. You compel people to engage in actions they shouldn't and venture into places they shouldn't have gone. It leads to a never-ending cycle of wanting more. Someone who has 100 desires 1,000, someone with 1,000 desires 100,000, and someone with 100,000 desires millions. Even kings desire the kingdom of heaven. In old age, hair turns white, teeth become loose, and the senses of sight and hearing start to decline. However, greed remains persistent and unaffected by the passage of time. It is no sin to return evil for evil. A person who is consumed by greed and fails to consider the consequences of their actions will likely face ridicule and disapproval from others.